Welcome to a holiday edition of 20 Person Prime. Joining us today, Roger Goodell. Bo Jackson's in the house. T.I. and the legend, Steve Harvey. That's right here on 20 Person Prime.
Yo, nephew, hand me that Barstool. You know what it is, and for what it's worth. You can catch me on the best corner, 21st. Prime time, shine time, always in the game, never ever on the sideline. You know what it is, and for what it's worth. You can catch me on the best corner, 21st. Prime time, shine time, always in the game, never ever on the sideline. Fresh and clean.
Jamie, we are blessed to have one of my dear friends. I love him to life. I really do. I think he's a genuine man. First of all, he's a heck of an athlete. You may not know that.
I do know
and
that.
Smart and intelligent.
We used to do treadmills in the morning, like at 6 in the morning. He knows that.
Yeah. Anyway, man, we're just coming off a phenomenal Super Bowl in an NFL 100 season. And guess what, man? I was a part of that. Commissioner, you did a great job, man. Give me your reflection on last season.
Well, hey, Prime and Jamie, it's great to be with you guys. Last season seems like so long ago. It seems like 100 years ago, but it really was a great celebration for us to celebrate our players, the game, so many great moments over those 100 years, the things that make us so special and our foundation that really led to our success. So to me, the 100th was really sort of a capstone to, and being the commissioner while that 100th anniversary was going on was pretty cool.
You were on the field like pre-Super Bowl, and I was sitting in the waiting room. Hey, man, Brett Favre just walked in, Joe Montana, Lawrence Taylor, and they just kept coming and coming, and I was floored. And it really didn't hit me until Devin Hester, the guy that said he looked up to me in college, and we became friends, and he was like a little brother to me. He was like my son, kind of, and to see him in that room, tears came to my eyes. I'm like, oh my God, this is phenomenal. The history that was in that room and on that field, Commissioner, it floored me, man. When you saw all the guys assemble right prior to kickoff, man, how did you feel?
I was awed myself. I mean, these guys are my heroes. So, I'm looking up to all these guys who, I just loved watching and had the privilege to get to know personally. And, one of the things I talk about all the time that really meant a great deal to me was being able to call these guys to tell them they made the 100th anniversary team. And that moment was great. And I remember Devin, exactly my conversation with him. He was floored by it. And to hear their reaction when they make that. And to your point, I think it hits you when you walk in that room and you see all these other incredible players and incredible men standing around you. That's just that's a once in a lifetime. And by the way, only 100 guys make that.
100.
So that's pretty cool.
Did you go back and look at the broadcast? Because obviously you didn't have the tickets this year, but you go back and you watch that. And on TV, it was just amazing. I was almost in tears because, again, these are so many of my friends, people that I know, and watching it unfold before the world in those red jackets. Did you go back and look and have a moment at all?
Yeah, definitely, Jamie, because, when you're at the Super Bowl, so much is going on and you're being pulled 5 different ways at once. And I love going back, but that was the moment I actually wanted to go back and watch because, it really was a moment that will never happen again. And, we'll have halftime shows, we'll have a lot of other things, but to see the 100 greatest players standing out there on the field prior to our Super Bowl is just one of those moments that, it'll never go away. And
let me congratulate you. And again, I don't want to, as I saw your comments, and I agree with you, not to jinx anything, but the execution of the National Football League being able to open the doors on time. You would. On time. Yes. Dr. Sills has done an amazing job along with the medical staff of making this happen. Kind of walk us through kind of the whole process and what you had to deal with. I know you dealt with the commissioners and all the other leagues, and you guys have been in a lot of communication, but what was that process like?
Well, first of all, you're dealing with uncertainty. and that's hard to deal with, right? So none of us really knew how things were going to unfold. You know, the two big things that I was focused on is stay on time, that we needed to do everything to change our operation and get things done. People wanted to delay free agency. People wanted to delay the draft. People wanted to delay everything. And my mantra was, we have to stay on schedule, and we need to be prepared to kick off. And we need to be able to do everything that's necessary in the offseason to get our teams in that place. The other thing was really teamwork. You know, you mentioned Dr. Sills. He's done an incredible job, but, you know, we worked really closely with the NFLPA's medical team. We worked with our medical experts. We worked with our players who were really involved on how we put those protocols together, and our clubs who had to implement those protocols. It's really been a collective effort that I think may be one of the crowning achievements of the league, ultimately, to be able to pull this all together, to get this done in a safe way for our players and coaches and participants, and now our fans. You know, we're the one league that's been able to bring fans into this, and that's going to continue to grow. We're getting more and more fans that will be able to attend games in more and more of our communities. So to me, this is a really it's a powerful moment and a good moment for us. But I will say this: you cannot get comfortable. And, you know, on time, prime time, we cannot get comfortable.
I like that. I like that. Minimal COVID cases. We have canceling the preseason was big. I was praying you did that. You guys did that. But I think your biggest task that it goes so underrated. We've shared the locker room with 52 other men with a bunch of egos with 52. You got 32 billionaires to deal with. How do you deal with 32 billionaires telling them, hey guys, this is what we should do. Trust me on this one. That has to be tough.
No, you know, the big thing on this is that nobody likes change, right? Coaches don't like change. You know, going to the draft and telling them they had to do the draft from home was, you know, that call was rough, you know, because they never had done that before. And there were all kinds of reasons why we shouldn't do that. But to me, we had to be ready to do that because we didn't know what the circumstances were going to be a few weeks later in our society, in our country, and in our world. And we were going to be prepared to do that. And so our teams did that, and they executed really well on that. And so all of us have a reluctance to change, but to us, we try to embrace that. Our coaches have embraced that. Our owners have embraced that. And more importantly, our players. They've done an incredible job, our players. Well, you know, I have the greatest respect for sitting with two of them. They've done a great job of taking care of themselves, following the protocols, and making sure they take care of one another.
You know, the irony of this, if you think about it, you go back and you do the quality control check on the quality of play. I think the play was outstanding. Week one, I've always said kind of week 1, week 2 are still preseason games because guys aren't really playing in the preseason. But I really thought the play on the field was exceptional.
You know, it was one of the most pleasant surprises I had from the first weekend. You know, if we look at how we normally look at it, scoring was high, injuries were down, there weren't many fouls across the league. Games were really competitive. You know, we saw a really great first week. And so I would agree with you. Now, how that translates into the future, whether we reduce the number of preseason games in the future, I've always been a big one in believing that we should go down to 3 or 2 preseason games. That will probably impact on us. And we'll learn something from our experience this year that will impact what we're doing going forward.
Mr. Commissioner, I would like to introduce you to Coach Prime.
Coach Prime.
Coach Prime.
Yeah.
What went through your mind, as you got an understanding of, you know, Deion leaving the network, something going on here, not sure. What were your initial thoughts about that?
Well, first, how much pride I have in him because, you know, he always finds a way to make a difference in people's lives. He spent so much of his life following his playing days of giving back and during his playing days, but giving back by coaching. And, you know, he does a lot with youth football, and he's talked to me about that a lot, and he's changed a lot of kids' lives. And I think that's really extraordinary. So what struck me the most was how fortunate Jackson State is to have Coach Prime. and how fortunate those kids are to have Coach Prime, because he's not going to just make them better football players. He's going to make them better men, and he's going to change their lives for the better. And that, to me, I think that's a great thing. And the other thing was, I know he's going to bring a lot of former NFL players to the coaching ranks at Jackson State, which I think will translate into more coaches in all of our ranks, whether it's the college level or the NFL level. And that's really important to me also.
Yeah, we have 8 guys that played or coached in the NFL that's on the staff. Jamie, I don't know if it's tampering because I'm really not a coach in the NFL.
Okay, so you're not
And I don't know if it's NCAA regulation, but there's a kid at IMG that has the last name of Goodell, and I'm recruiting him right now.
Okay.
I don't know, should I go through the kid, the mother,
talk to his uncle,
the uncle?
Maybe talk to the rich uncle.
You got to give me some guidance.
Yeah, the rich uncle.
I don't want to be in violation.
Yeah. What's that like as a fan? And now
for my nephew Charlie, you got to come through the commish, baby.
I got you. I'm going straight to you. Hey, Commissioner, we appreciate you, man. We love you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hey, Coach, I wish you all the best, man. We'll be rooting for Jackson State all along, and you. So good luck.
Barstool Sports, baby.
Good morning, fellas.
There goes my man.
What's
Bo
going on,
Vincent, the greatest ever, baby.
Dion, you done had too much caffeine this morning, man.
That's how I am in the morning.
Caffeine.
That's how I am in the morning, man. Hey, man, you're looking good, too, by the way, my brother.
Brother, listen, I'm working like a Hebrew slave. Every day in the office, actually, when I get off this call, I got to go and do some work out in my yard, move some stuff around before the snow hits. You know how it is. No, you don't, because you live in Texas.
Yes, right. I do not, and I would not ever know how it is because I'm not witness. First of all, you're a country boy anyway. So what you doing up there in the snow for all these years?
Listen, let me tell you why. I'm in Chicago the same reason you in Dallas. To get away from my crazy ass family. You know.
You said so. But why does it get like that for us, man? Why once we make it, even years after, they still crazy? It's almost like they made it.
I don't know, but I love them. I'll fight a lion with a switch for them, but I need my peace. I need my peace and quiet. I can't have folks knocking on my door every day. And you know when they come by or they call you, you know when they want something.
You know what they
want. Two words they said. They said, look, especially if one of my brothers, I love him to death. First 2 words they said, look him. When they said, look him.
Look here. Look here.
Look here.
But everything's going good, man. Everything's going good. Everybody's healthy from this pandemic. We don't got nobody sick. We haven't lost nobody within the family from that. And we just blessed that everything's going good right now. That's all.
We're talking to one of my former teammates. How about this?
Teammate.
Well, we were on the Walter Camp All-American team together.
Oh, Lord.
We was on All-American team together.
That don't count. The boy, they ain't know you.
Well, and he didn't, but he still was on the same team. Anyway, okay, well, here's the deal, Bo, and this is the thing I said. What made this special to me, and I've had this conversation for years. Ask the question, who is the greatest athlete of all time? Not greatest football player. I always tell people there's 2 people that I can't make that decision between the 2 of them. It's you and Prime.
Yes.
Because, the thing about
But if it wasn't for Bo, it wouldn't have been Prime.
Well, yeah, but no, it could no.
That's the truth.
No, hang on, because it was God that gave both of y'all that thing you have, and you couldn't hide that.
I agree.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And so that talent couldn't be hid. But it seemed like also both of you guys had, I think, real tough decisions to make. And I what I want to do is kind of, the baseball, football thing for you both. For what was the war like? I know money was a part of it, fame was. I mean, what was the decision making about baseball, football? How did that all play out for you?
There was a war or a tug of war between football and baseball. I've been doing that since I was 8, 9, 10 years old and not playing football, but just playing pickup football out at the rec center with my relatives and friends. But my mom didn't let me play football till the 9th grade because she said, look, if you can't make your grades, you ain't going to be on nobody's team to do nothing. So I got smart the summer between my 8th and 9th grade year in junior high and said, well, I need to batten down the hatches. I need to do what I need to do because all of my buddies were on the football team and I wasn't. And once I brought them grades up, but my mom said, I'm going to let you get a shot at. In the first week of practice, I get a hip horner. Come home limping. She said, see, I told you. Bring me home, you don't need to be on that football team. And so, but I convinced her to let me play. And one thing led to another. And I was a fullback. I had 2 other backs. That was just as quick as me, just as bad as me. And we ran out of the wishbone.
Right.
And the thing that happened with us is that we got the reputation is that don't let them boys from Macador get to the corner. Because if they get on the corner, you might well go and give them 6 because you ain't going to catch them. you ain't going to catch them. And we would go to high schools to play, and in the middle of their field, it's bone dry.
Right.
You get on the sideline, they have 2 inches of water standing on the sideline, and it hadn't rained in 2 weeks because they didn't want us to get on the corner. But it was things like that. I have always been competitive, always. And growing up to where I did, like I said, we didn't have much, and we go to the rec center, get free lunch during the summer. Then right after the free lunch, we go out and pick up football, or we play softball or baseball. That was our summer as kids. And once I got into organized sports, I'm like, this is easy.
Right.
And then I'm playing with kids my own age, and it was like a man playing against kids.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I've been playing with my older brothers and cousins and so forth and so on. So I was a little bit more advanced. Plus, I got my PhD as a kid from running from butt whoopings. Being the 8th of 10 kids, my mother would say, catch him. And she said, but if you don't bring him back, you're going to take his butt with him. And they run me down, bro. They run me down and drag me through the neighborhood, and I'm kicking and screaming. And the neighbors would actually come out. If it was on the weekend, the neighbors would actually come out on their porch to say, I got to see this one here. Because I saw the one a couple of days ago. So running has always been, and I'm quite sure that Dion can attest to this, is that some folks said that I was running before I could walk.
That's right.
And it's just, I always chasing my older cousins, brothers, buddies, doing this. So when I got to play with kids my own age, it was a piece of cake.
Does it bother you, man, that you don't see anybody anymore playing dual sports? Not even in high school. Like they make these kids now choose one thing, and that's it.
Well, Deion, there was only one Deion Sanders, one Bo Jackson. And we did it. And the reason we did it out of necessity, because as they say, idle time is a devil's workshop.
Yeah, that's right.
We did it to stay out of trouble.
That's right.
Period. We did it to stay out of trouble. But now, and I don't see it as bad, but everybody want their kid to be the next Bo Jackson, Deion Sanders, LeBron James, so forth and so on. And the thing that they got to realize is that you can't buy that. Mm-hmm. You can't pay for that. If they don't have it naturally, if the man upstairs didn't give it to them naturally, they can get it. Yeah, but they can work at getting to that point. But if it's not natural, then brother, God bless. Do what the man upstairs gave. Use the talent that he gave you and be happy with it. But the thing that gets me, but you said, and I say this just like you, but the talent pool is so deep in sports these days. If anybody tried to do what you and I did, they would be riding the bench in both.
That's right.
They would be riding the bench in both. Because look at baseball right now. Dion, can you imagine you and I at 23, 24 years old?
Wow.
Doing this time right now?
It would be unbelievable, man.
Dion, but in the salaries, these kids are turning down.
Wow.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But I actually look at that. I look at the thing that gets me now, but I don't watch too much football, baseball, or basketball. Now, the reason for football, baseball, because it's like this. But I ask everybody that asks me, I'll be out with somebody golfing or fishing or hunting, and somebody say, "Did you see that game last night?" And I look at them like, "What game?"
Right.
What game? I live in Chicago. We got the Bears, the White Sox, the Cubs, the Blackhawks. We got all these teams. They said, "Did you see that game last night?" I said, "What game?" And then they tell me, I said, "Look, man." And I said, "I don't mean this in a negative way." I said, "You are a CPA, right?" I said, "Would you go home, turn on the TV, and watch somebody do taxes all damn day?"
You right.
But I said, that used to be my job. Oh, I love it. I respect it because it helped me get to where I am. I said, but I don't want to go home and watch my job. I want to do something different. I want to get away from, when I'm out here, I'm not Bo Jackson. When I'm out bird hunting, I'm not Bo Jackson. And so forth and so on. So with me, even when I do see a little bit of it, I'm not going to say it's frustrating, but it's disappointing because let me ask you this. When the last time you watched a baseball game and saw a baseball game to where everybody's doing the basics? When was the last time you saw a hit and run?
Right.
Everybody's swinging for the fence now. You either hit it out the park or strike out.
That's right.
Either hit it out the park or strike out. Nobody practiced base stealing. Nobody practiced hit and runs. Nobody practiced hitting the cutoff man and so forth and so on. And in football, I'll say the same thing. Nobody wrap up and tackle no more. With me being a ball carrier, my coach taught us, number one, he said, "I know you can run, but I'm going to teach you how to carry that football." He said, "That football is like your newborn baby. Don't ever put it on the ground and keep it away from the enemy." It's like this. And I watch technique. I don't see nobody hitting or wrapping up. Everybody's running into each other and trying to use their shoulder pads back to knock the ball carrier down. And I'm like, if I played during this era, man, I'd be averaging 350, 400 yards a game.
And you would.
That's right.
I would be average.
You did then.
Because nobody wraps up anymore. They run into each other with their pads. And I'm not saying that is a bad thing, but
No, it's a bad
the way
thing.
they've been.
That's a bad thing. That's a bad thing.
I'm not knocking anybody. God bless them. I'm not knocking anybody, but it's a technique. It's like anybody that carries that ball, no. You know too, Dion, what's the thing that I see is that, especially when a running back or a receiver or anybody break a long run, got the ball in the wrong hand. If you're running down the right sideline, the ball should be closer to the sideline. Because number one, if you're carrying it in your left hand, running down the right side, you don't got nothing to defend yourself from the pursuer.
That's right.
Put it in your left hand. Even, it's like this. You got 5 seconds on the clock, and you get tackled on the 2-yard line and the time run out because you got the ball in the left hand. You lost the game. You put it in your right hand, you can stiff arm that guy, and you can fall for another 2 yards. Period. And so it's different things, like different techniques that I look at. And I don't watch it, but like I said, what I see on the news, I watch it. Whenever my wife and daughter make me take them to a game down at Auburn, which I go kicking and screaming. I love my university. I love the Auburn Tigers, but I sit on that sideline and I watch the game and I watch the clock. I watch the game and I watch the clock. And that's just me.
You know, Bo, Jamie was there the first time you and I officially met.
And Jesse Solomon.
It wasn't pleasant. I don't like it. I've told everybody about it. I'm sure we gonna play the clip while I'm talking about it. But Jamie was on the field the first time you and I officially met.
Yep.
And I didn't
When
like
I come out that pack, I come out the backside.
Yep.
And down the field, gave the guy one guy, and I
That
don't
was
know,
Jesse Solomon, the one
got
guy.
down to about the 10,
Yep.
and you come out of nowhere like a hornet.
Yeah.
Where the hell did he come from? Didn't know you. You had on the Florida State uniform. So I just put the brakes on, swatted you down.
You ain't put no brakes on. You kept going. You didn't even stop. You didn't even break stride and just swatted me down. The sad thing about it, after I got up, I went to the sideline and my boys were laughing. They were screaming, laughing over there. I said, at least it's Bo Jackson. At least it was Bo Jackson. Now, how about that?
I hear you, man. I hear you. But you know something? Being an old man like I am now, but I miss those days.
Yeah.
I miss those days. And I sit up and I think about those days and so forth and so on. So that's how I get my feel. I think about back when we played, think about my teammates, think about other teams that we played and so forth and so on. And me and my teammates, we sit around and talk. We sit around and talk about old times. And we enjoy that. We enjoy that.
One thing that you don't realize to this day, you don't understand how good you made me feel one time when I was with the Reds, and I came to Chicago. Remember we sat in the locker room the whole game. And that's the first time we sat and talked.
Yeah, man. That's what it's all about.
Jamie, we sat in the locker room. Bo came over and came to the locker room. And we sat in the locker. It's Sunday. I think I was off it. I wasn't playing anyway. And we sat and talked for the first time. And I wish it was a camera there to hear this conversation. Because, like, I'm a kid and, like, man, I'm talking to Bo. Because there's a rivalry that they created. You know, like, Bo versus, like, hey, we ain't playing. What is this about? Both of us doing something that ain't been done. But we sat and talked for the first time in our lives, man, and it was poetry.
I was going to say, what jumps out to you, Bo, about that time when you both were doing both your things? What memories come to mind?
The thing about it, but the thing that jumps out to me, is that we were equally talented, but we went about our jobs totally opposite ways. Meaning, I was quiet, do my job, didn't talk at nobody, and Dion was from the first play. Oh, you gonna have a bad day today, brother. He's talking. You gonna have a bad day today. You need to tell that quarterback he need to throw it to the other side of the field. If you come this way, it's gonna be pick six. I'm just telling you right now. So we both made our names and earned our reputation by playing hard and had the respect of everybody, because they knew once we stepped on the field, they knew we stepped just on the field. Make sure you know where number 21 is. Make sure you know where number 34 is.
At all times.
But we hope and pray both of them suckers are on the sideline.
At all times. At all times.
There you go.
Jamie, we went at it two totally different ways, like Bo said, but we represented every kid in the country. we represented, because you were either that kid or you was this kid, and we represented everyone. And it was no between the inner city. It wasn't no who you ride with, boy, prime. It was none of that. Right. Like it is it Jordan? Is it LeBron? It was none of that. It was just, hey man, these boys are some dogs.
See, and a lot of people don't realize is that I kept up with Dion from the standpoint is that we were doing the same thing. And it was like, it was us against the world because we were doing both. Mm-hmm. There were some people that didn't like it, but you know something? They couldn't do a damn thing about it. Right. They couldn't do a damn thing about it. And there were some people that said, hey, more power to you, brother. Keep doing what you're doing. I want my son to be just like it. I want this and that. And things were good for us. But I would watch to see what Dion's doing. I think the last time that I actually witnessed him play is when I love him to death, is when he shut down Jerry Rice. Period. Told Jerry Rice, I'm going to shut you down. And he shut him down. Now, that's doing your job. Against a Hall of Famer like that, that's doing your job. That's doing your job.
I got a phone call a couple years ago, and first of all, it ain't but two voices you really know. Yeah. Reggie White, oh, right. He's gone. That's right. Yeah. And both. Excuse me, Prime, you owe me.
Oh, yeah, we gonna talk about that. We gonna talk about that. I know exactly what you gonna say.
Why do I owe you, Bo?
Listen, Kansas City Royals come to New York Yankee Stadium. George Steinbrenner back up in the booth, and I didn't have too good a feeling with George Steinbrenner because he lied on me because I didn't come to the Yankees when I come out of high school. Prime time with New York. I'm with Kansas City. And I don't know who was pitching that night, but I'm glad he was on the mound. And it was kind of to be the Bo and Prime show.
Man, this man hit the ball so far, man.
Big city lights.
That was the first time I seen him play.
First at bat. I think it was my first at bat. I hit one on the subway tracks in right field. Second at bat, I hit one in the statues out in the left center.
Left center. Bomb.
Third at bat, I hit one straight away center. Boom. Got 7 ribbies, and it's just a 6th inning. Dion, right after I hit the third one, Dion come up, and I was playing center. And he hit a bullet to a short right center. And as soon as he hit it, I took off at it. And because I'm like, I can't let this ball get through. I can't let this ball get to the ground. And I dove at it. And one rule that they got is when you dive at a baseball, you never have your head below your butt. And I dove down at the ground because he hit a pea. And it went off the tip of my glove. And I knew, I said, this motherfucker gonna get her inside the ball. Luckily, we had Willie Wilson, because they moved Willie over to right field. Willie, it went off my glove and went to the wall. By the time the ball got to the wall, Dion was round the second already. He was running, Jack. He was flying. He got a triple out of it, but when I hit the ground, I dislocated this shoulder. And as I'm sliding, I roll over and I pop it back in the socket. And I said, oh, so I just set up and I'm trying to, my hand go numb. And I sit there. Willie Wilson come over and said, get your ass up. I said, man, I just dislocated my shoulder. So they call the train out. I go in, I go to the dugout and I walk down the steps. And I stand on the floor in the dugout. And I put my hands up on the top step to stretch, and it pops out again, and everybody hears it. And all my teammates run because they hear it pop out of the socket again. And I popped it back in. He said, no, come on, we got to go inside. And I was done. And I was done for that game. I was out for 6 weeks. 6 weeks rehabbing. couldn't do anything. First at bat in Kansas City, Randy Johnson. This was when he didn't know where the ball was going when he let it loose. Put him in the water fountain in Kansas City. First pitch. And 20-something years later, I'm driving down the road and got my arm up in the car window like you do. Start hurting. About 3 or 4 months later, I can't pick my arm up. And the doctor said, did you ever dislocate the shoulder? I said, yes. And I said, Deion Sanders is the reason I dislocated. So 2016, I had this shoulder replaced and the rotator cuff reconstructed. And it's all because of him. So I called him and I said, look him. Look him.
Look him.
I said, look him. You need to call your attorneys. I said, because I'm suing you for messing up my shoulder. Now, I said, now I'll settle with you. I'll settle with you for a lifetime certificate at Sizzler. I said, I'll settle with you for a lifetime supply at Sizzler.
You said all this, Jamie.
But yes, I tell people my shoulder, I had a shoulder replacement because of him.
And I tell people, me and Bo Jackson hit 4 home runs in Yankee Stadium. We hit 4 home runs.
Same night.
We hit 4 home runs. I ain't said he hit 3 of them, but we hit 4 home runs that night.
We hit 4. But see, and that was actually during the time, and the thing that I say is that was during the time when we hustled, we laid out, we sprinted everything out. And if we hit a ground ball, that infielder, he got to rush to get that ball to first base.
You got to move it.
Because if you catch that ball and do like they do now, catch it, pat it twice, then throw it, man, we walking back to first base.
He getting ready to steal second.
He walking back to first base.
Jamie, let me tell you something, my best Bo moment, honestly. All-Star game, man. Lead-off batter. And I'm watching. That's when everybody watched the All-Star game. The All-Star game was really the All-Star
When it
game.
mattered, yeah.
Then Joe went straight central. And that's when they had is that when they launched the Bo Knows commercials? No.
That was after I came back from but Bo Knows what's going on during that time.
Yeah. But I know they played the commercial.
They played, yeah.
After he hit the bomb to lead off, and I was like, man, see, that's a dog on a stage like that. Yeah. First of all, they put him as a leadoff hitter. I don't know why. Every pitcher was like, oh my God, we got to deal with this to lead off, and he called it.
But the thing behind that deal is that I didn't know that I was leading off until I got to the locker room and looked at the lineup. I said, because Tony La Russa was the manager. I'm like, Tony, I ain't never laid off a day in my life. I said, what do I do? He said, Bo, we need some speed on. But I said, what do I do? He said, just get up, knock the hell out of the ball, get on base. And I knew with Rick Russell pitching that I'd have to swing a heavy bat because I had to sit back and wait on it. And after I finished talking to Tony La Russa, the president walks into the locker room, Ronald Reagan. And he walked around, meet everybody, got over to me, he shook my hand, and he turned around and told his Secret Service guy, he said, he has a very strong grip. So meeting the president, then 45 minutes later, going out in front of the country and hitting a bomb, leading off, because I said, why is it that you got me leading off? He said, because behind you, I got Wade Boggs, Don Mattingly, Kirby Puckett. So the Mark McGuire, he got all these just big bang. I said, okay. I see why now, and so forth and so on. But got up to the plate, Watched the first 2 pitches. I said, all right, he dropping it off the table hard. I said, just get ready to golf swing. Like I'm swinging my 9-iron. And lo and behold, I caught it. But I caught it. Didn't expect it to hit it that far. I was just looking to get a hit to get on base. But you know how it is. But when you get one and you don't you don't expect to get it, you go like, uh-oh, but you go around the bases like, oh, but I knew that I was gonna get it. I knew I was gonna get it.
That was a moment for me, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
But in the way you hit home runs by mistake because you're trying to just get a hit. And if you catch it on the sweet part of the bat, right angle, it's gonna go. It's gonna go out the ballpark. Period.
When you Bo Jackson,
it's gonna go. It's gonna talk about the Bo knows, because at the same time, it's Prime and what he's doing, and Bo knows is going huge, at the same time. How much by design was Bo knows from the standpoint of Bo, you, or Bo the entity? And the reason I'm asking the question is because you knew there was something else there, and you knew you was gonna make money. You from the farm, so you know you got a sharecrop, so you're gonna have some tomatoes, you're gonna pick the corn. So walk me through the thing that is Bo Jackson.
The thing that's Bo Jackson, but is that I don't consider myself the sharpest knife in the drawer, but I'm sharp enough to cut you. I'm not the sharpest knife.
Oh, I'm gonna use that. I'm using that, dog. I'm using that.
The sharpest knife in the drawer, but I'm sharp enough to cut you. But one thing that I do is that I surround myself with a bunch of straight edge razors. Period. I surround myself with people that's smarter than me, people that are looking out for me and not just leeches that want to go around and brag, oh, well, I got Bo Jackson as a client. Bo Jackson is a friend of mine. And so I just don't, but I stopped doing that my second year out of Auburn. And I just knew where I wanted to go in life. I knew I didn't want to go back. I knew that I didn't want to go back home. Don't get me wrong. That's where I go whenever I feel that I need to be grounded. Mm-hmm. Go back home, get with my sisters, get with my brothers. We hang out and sit and talk out in the yard, eat Sunday dinner. And they cuss me out. I fuss with them and so forth and so on. I fight with my sisters like we do and so forth and so on. Back when I go home, I'm not Bo. I'm everything but Bo. They call me everything but Bo. And I love that. I love that. It gives me the sense of, hey, I'm no better than the person across the aisle from me. I'm no better than the guy walking down the street. I'm no better than the guy picking up my garbage. Period.
Yeah.
That's just how things are.
My wish, we got to get together and just go fishing, man. We just got to get on a boat together, put a camera on it, and just talk and just have a good old time, because I love you like that, man. We got to do that.
I got my boat sitting out in my driveway right now, and I was going to go right after this. And I'm not joking. Now, I could take my iPad and go show you right out the window right now. I got my boat sitting in the driveway. I haven't hooked my truck up to it yet, and going down to the river, getting on the river, getting up there and anchoring not too far from the dam, catch hybrid bass all day. Hybrid bass all day.
Isn't that crazy?
That's what I do.
Two athletes that perform at this level, and both of us country boys deep down in love.
Yeah, want to fish.
You both hunt.
Well, one was a real country boy, and you a full country boy that's become a country boy.
Yeah, I ain't gonna kill nothing, but Bo will kill everything. He'll kill everything with his hands and with a bow and with everything.
I'm telling you, hey, and I don't just go hunting to hunt. I don't go hunting to hunt. I go hunting for the meat. But if I don't eat it, I get it processed and give it to a needy family.
I'm a needy family.
So you
Trust
just
me.
yeah.
You look like you ain't missed no meal. You ain't
I'm a
missed
lineman.
no meal.
I wasn't supposed to miss no meal.
You ain't, and don't you say that your mama said, "Oh, but he's just a big baby." That means he wasn't big. No, you ain't missed no meal, bro. Trust me on that.
Hey, man, I appreciate you, bro. You go do your fishing, man. I love you, my brother. Let's keep in touch a little more. I appreciate you, man.
Love you too. Y'all keep it straight. Hey, keep COVID at bay. God bless you. Keep your family safe, dude.
All right. If you see another Bo Jackson, please send him to Jackson State for me, please.
Please send it to Jackson State.
Yeah.
All right. All right. All right, coach. Listen. I tell you this, and I don't know how you can work out, but you know, now I stutter. Period. Everybody knows that. But I'll tell you this. I've been on the national speaking tour for almost 25 years now, and people pay me, at which I'm not bragging. It is a blessing. I got corporations that pay me to come around the country to speak to their employees or at their seminars and so forth and so on. And I'm going to say this to you, DR, and I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to wait for you to invite me down to come speak to your boys.
Wow.
On the house, the only thing I said, you get me there.
I got
I'll come down to speak at your house. It's on the house.
I got you.
It's on the house.
That's it. And we're going to fish too.
Down, because number one, I'm going to talk to them because I'm going to talk to them like I'm the dad. See, you got that limit to where you can go. You got the limit, but I'm going to talk to them like a Southern black dad.
There you go.
Tell them what is expected of them. To tell them what is expected of them and tell them how their actions can affect the whole team.
Wow.
Tell them how their actions can affect your parents at home and how your bad actions can get it to where your parents can't leave their house without somebody pointing a finger at them saying, I told you he wasn't going to do nothing, and he just showed it. Said, you can't do that. You can't do that. And hey, I'll just tell them, you got to think. Every time when you with your boys and y'all having a good time, even before y'all start to have a good time, sit back and ask yourself this question. If something goes sideways here, who is it going to affect besides me? It's going to affect my coach, my teammates, university, most of all, my family. Think about that. Just think about that before you get with your boys, get in that car, drive down the highway, and do whatever you do. Think about the repercussions of the stupid things that we do. Because the road that they trying to run down, we walked down that road a long time ago. But we know what's down that road.
Yes, amen.
All right, man.
All right.
Well, y'all be good, but I'm going to get up out of here and go out here and make sure I got my batteries charged. All my
And you going to watch the game, right?
Don't make me cuss you out.
Don't cuss you out. Appreciate you, boss, man.
All right, dog.
Always in the game, never ever on the sideline.
What's going on, OG?
Wait, we ready to go right now, man. We rolling. We ain't gonna keep you. We ready to roll. We go. We ready to set
Okay,
go.
Hey man, y'all on the weight pie. You hear me?
Let's get into it.
Weight pie, ready to get money.
There you go. Tell me this. What is the main thing for you right now? What's the main thing?
Being the best father I can.
Love it.
You know, I'm at a point in my life where I'm eager to learn, and sometimes learning come with unlearning. You know, you got to unlearn and relearn. But I just want as much authentic, genuine information, the much true information that I can share with my children, grandchildren, and the other people who are around me that could be affected by my words.
Now, do you know when you seeking that what you just stated, it ain't easy. The reason it ain't easy to receive that information because you're a boss. And see, bosses and people with your thought process don't hear from everybody.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that, see, I'm a self-diagnosed narcissist. And the thing is, imagine me back in 9. All right? I was 9 years old. Knew exactly what I wanted to do. I knew this was my life, right? Had no avenues, no connections, no relationships. My family wasn't in music, didn't know nothing about the music business. I had no way to get here. So, not for my narcissism, I never made it. There was no way. Nobody could have taught me how to do what I'm doing today. No one around me. I couldn't go under the tutelage of any person in my immediate circle to ask them for advice or instruction or direction for how to make it. So once you've gone on your own way for so long and have been successful at it, very hard to listen to other people.
That's right.
Because you weren't there.
Exactly.
My thoughts that got me through and got me here, and now that I'm here, you want me to just hand you the wheel. And as ironic as it may be, that's exactly what the fuck you have to do. That's really the key. I know the shit sounds illogical. It don't really seem like, that's the answer. But there's a strength in letting go. Once you work and got some shit to a point and you feel like you know exactly what to do, that's the time you gotta let go.
But is that part of the enlightenment, and the maturity of a narcissist would be my question.
I think it comes from the acceptance and acknowledgement of the traits of narcissism and understanding that you have to fight against it in order to continue to progress. Narcissism got me here, but it can't get me where I'm going.
Well, preach then, preacher. Yeah.
In that, continue that thought, because my son's 14, so you the rock star, not because of Tip, but the Marvel and that expansion and that growth. First of all, y'all need y'all own show. That chemistry that I'm talking about, you and the dudes in the room. Forget them other dudes. And ironically, I tell you a true story about Tip. So, working at NFL Network, go out there every week. I've been on several flights with him. And so the thing about it, when I saw him the first time, you don't talk. You know how that works. He raised, I'm a big dude. He just looked at me, look here, big fella. I will drop you out of first. And he never said a word, but it was just that Atlanta look. And so I've always started telling him. But I guess my point is that with movie, it seems like, the job you did in the gangster. What was the name of the movie? Oh,
American Gangster.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, it just
Takers.
Takers. That's what it was. It just it just seems like you're growing in that area. Is that something you are drawn to? Money's money, but it just seems like you just continue to take step after step in that direction.
Just to be honest, when I came into this, I was 20 years old. You know what I'm saying? I'm 40 now. Any man, any human being, man, woman, or otherwise, from the age of 20 to 40, you're going to develop skills, experiences, perspectives, epiphanies that are going to reshape and mold the future of your thought pattern. And that is no different for me. It's just I'm under the lights. I'm on camera. Hey man, you were about 20 when you made it to Atlanta, right?
Yeah, 21.
21. Okay. Check this out. 21, 40. How much had you learned?
Oh my God. A lifetime.
Exactly. So this is no different for me. You know what I'm saying? It's just that my mistakes and my lessons, my losses and lessons, which I think are, you know what I'm saying, one and the same. They're tethered together. They are before the world. And most people, they feel like because didn't nobody else see it that the shit didn't happen. But you know that shit happened. Right. You know what I'm saying? You know, like, you just have to be like decent, honest people of morality. You dig what I'm saying? Yeah. That have integrity. And me, I know that, man, you know what? I ran wild and sold dope and smoked weed when I was young because I ain't know no better. And it was not until I grew to a point that I seek the knowledge. You know what I'm saying? It didn't just hit me in the head. I had to go find the knowledge. Knowledge don't just come to you.
That's right.
So I had to go find the knowledge, and then I began to evolve. And so that's why when I look at somebody else, I'm going to keep that into consideration.
You know, one thing, whole lot of stuff I love about you, and I'm gonna tell you a story that you ain't gonna even believe. But when you said you was king of the South, did you get heat? Did you get heat for that?
Man, you know, indirectly, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody ever came up to me and said, you know, I don't like that you call. Well, not nobody. Just no other rappers. I'm going to tell you two people. One, a woman of 5 feet, barely. Her name is Shanti Dawes. I believe she ran marketing or A&R at Atlantic. She was like, you know, like a real boss lady. You dig what I'm saying? And everybody looked up to her. And you know, she introduced Outkast to the world. And so when I said that, like, well, Outkast was the king of the South. And I'm on. So this is like a big head honcho at LaFace telling me, you know, Outkast is the king of the South. But little did she know, I spoke to Big Boy. I spoke to Andre. I spoke to Bun B. I spoke to Goody Mob. I spoke to everybody who I had within my social circle and asked their opinion. And all of them told me the same thing. Do that shit.
That's right. That's right.
But what Big Boy did say, he said, well, you do know. You say you the king, you become a target. You can't be looking for no favors. I say, shit. I ain't had none so far.
See, Tip, the reason I can identify, because, James, you know, when I came back to play against the Falcons, and I was hot because I was on some of that game. I was on a whole nother thing that game. And I went back 93 to the house and high stepped them boys for about 6 or 7.
I was there.
And I came back and said, this is my house. I built this house. This will always be my house. Now, that would seem to be disrespectful, but if you coming from a place where me and Tip could see, that it is what it was.
Yeah.
Unapologetically, it was what it was. So I've always identified with you since that day. When you said, that's who I am, I said, you know what? That boy on something else. Now, let me tell you when you hurt my little feelings.
Okay? What?
Yeah, you hurt my feelings. Because you got to understand, I'm a Tip man. Like, I am. Like, when you first hit, I was like, okay. And then from Atlanta, I call Atlanta my home, even though I don't live there. That's where I was birthed at. That's where Prime was built.
You still entrenched in this culture.
Yeah, I got on red and black drawers as we speak. Like, that's how I get down. Like, so I ran across you for the first time at Lil Wayne's concert, backstage.
Lil Wayne concert?
Yep. In Dallas. I took all my shorties there, and you were there in Dallas years back, and we was in passing. But I was excited, dog. Like, this was my boy. I get to see Tip. This was my dude. and we just passed each other like we was in the wind.
That's how he did me at the
And,
airport,
and
dog. That's how he do.
And I just stood there and was like,
Yeah.
No, look, for one, this is the thing
That's
that
how
I
he
think
do.
everybody needs to understand.
it wasn't
Just
disrespectful.
that, no, not at all. Look, what happens when you have a bad game, Dion?
Yep, I don't want to be
Bad
bothered.
game.
I don't want to be
Something
bothered.
going on. You know what I'm saying? You just got to get in your head and you got to, you got to lock in, know? And it ain't no disrespect to nobody else around you. You know what I'm saying? If you done had a bad game, you might have lost on a fucked up play. Man, you going in the tunnel, you ain't trying to slap no hands.
And he put
I
him
don't know
aside.
what was happening, but I just know I'm a fan of yours. You dig what I'm saying? As far as Atlanta goes, you, Dominique, Mike, Vic, y'all is it. Got them getting to Jamal Lewis. I went to high school with him. You know what I'm saying? He's a
that's my
personal
boy.
partner, man. But like for Andre Rising, so on and so forth. But for the most part, y'all is it. That's what Atlanta needs. Atlanta would have went to the Super Bowl if they would have brought Michael Vick back. People think it's the X's and O's, man. It's the energy, bro.
Right,
you got to be able to produce the energy of leadership.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be able to make motherfuckers. You got to have that, dare I say, star quality that make a motherfucker want to follow you, even when they don't believe in that shit they sell.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you had an energy, bro. You had an energy like, man, I don't give a fuck what y'all gonna do. We gonna get down. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that is what Atlanta needs. And you know what I'm saying? And hopefully one day we'll get it again.
Because y'all sure ain't got it right now. Boy, it hurts my heart. Every Sunday hurts my heart.
So let's talk about the evolution, because I'm always fascinated, and I've always been kind of a student, and the evolution of tip. And one of the things, and we talked to a lot of different people, you had to also be a voice of the people when others
You have to.
Well, let me
No, he
rephrase
has
it.
to.
didn't have to.
No, you
let
should
me-
ask him when that started, because he didn't have to.
Let me rephrase that. Then poor choice of words. What in you forced you to take on that mantle also, or what compelled you, might be a better word, to where you felt that it's time for me to speak out on some other things?
To be honest, my children. You know, I started seeing the world different when my children began to develop lives of their own, where they went places without me. You know what I'm saying? My oldest daughter, Neat, we got her a car for her 16th birthday. Now she's coming and going. And I'm nervous as shit. You know what I'm saying? Then the next was my oldest son, Messiah. He got him a car. So now I'm like, these people that I care so much for are subjected to the world that I left behind. You know what I'm saying? Like, just imagine if I'm on some fuck the world and killing everybody. I mean, you know, whatever, da da da. If I show no compassion or have no level of empathy, then they're going to be subjected to the energy that I distribute.
That's right.
So I just felt compelled to do something. You know what I'm saying? I think that with great reward comes great responsibility. Now, when you choose to accept that responsibility, it's case by case. But I myself knew that I could do more.
Mm-hmm.
I knew I could do more. I knew that I'd been, first of all, I was in the largest percentile of losers. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I was a teenager, bro, I was reminded everywhere I went, family members, teachers, people, just statistically speaking, you ain't even supposed to make it to 21.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? My response was, well, I'm gonna be hell while I'm here. You know what I'm saying? And to make it to 40 and be TI, you know, on top of that, that shows me that there's like enormous favor. You know what I'm saying? And grace.
It has to bother you, Tip. Like, it seems like your life has been dedicated to your family, your kids, our people, the game, just life in a city.
Mm-hmm.
But when the inner city hit you in the face and trip with you, and question you and doubt you, that has the effect.
Right.
Because I could go through 1,000,000 comments every now and then when I'm scrolling. And that one from one of us, forget the 99, but that one.
I feel you.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, the easiest emotion to tap into is anger.
There you go.
That's the easiest one. It's easier to get you angry than it is to make you happy. It's easier to get you angry than it is to make you sad. Anger is the easiest. That's the low-hanging fruit of emotion. So, I mean, most of the time when I see it, I respond to it, but it's in an attempt to correct their, you know what I'm saying? Usually when I respond, it's like, you know, or unless I'm trying to make a joke. But the thing is, bro, that's a reflection of how they feel of themselves. They can't think shit of me if they don't think shit of themselves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, that's what I've noticed, you know, over time, bro. Like, motherfuckers really don't think shit of themselves. People don't believe in themselves. People gave up on their dreams. So how dare I continue on with mine? You know what I mean?
The audacity.
The audacity, the gall,
the nerve.
So I see it like that, and I just kind of, if it don't apply, let it fly, man. You know what I'm saying?
So we have a new president, and I won't ask, you know, from the standpoint of what he or what it means, but what does the next 4 years mean to you, and what in your mind need to happen or won't happen? Optimistic. What is your thought?
Two things. One, it's a day at a time. I ain't thinking 4 years ahead. It's a day at a time. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. This is a good day. Make tomorrow just as good. That's, you know what I'm saying? That's how, you know, I kind of keep it, I guess, grounded, you know what I'm saying? And not get carried away with my ambition, you know? But at the same time, I know it can't be no worse than what it was. You know, I think that they say are either a reflection of the of the country, or they are leadership and in direction of where the country needs to go. So I think Donald Trump was the reflection of the country. And I hope and pray and have, you know, I have every indication that Biden will be the leadership into where the country needs to go. And the indicators are, he has the most votes than any other presidential candidate in the world. And I don't think that's a reflection of how good people feel about him. Mm-hmm. It's a reflection of how bad people feel about the other dude. So, you know, he kind of like got the shit by default.
That's right.
But now that he has it, what he does with it, determine the next 4 years. And I think I have the utmost optimism and faith in the fact that there is a black woman at vice president. And so if all else fails, we gonna know what the fuck going on. Ain't gonna be no motherfucking secret.
Gonna tell it.
We gonna know what's going on.
Oh, she gonna tell it.
He on some bullshit. She gonna say, "Hey, look, man, I tried to tell them motherfucker, man. And he, you know, he don't really." So, hey, we just gonna see how this go. So I can trust that because I'm familiar with that. Not familiar with Joe Biden. I'm familiar with black women though, so I trust that.
Hey, tell me this. This is what I want us to ponder. Because I'm not into politics, but I am into people. And it seems as though we keep choosing the wrong people to exert our politics. So this is what I want to ponder for our people. Why don't we just divide this country into 4 different regions, right? And why don't we just pick our own black man or woman that's our leader? Like we have our own vote. We figure out where we're gonna vote at, how we gonna do it, and who's gonna be that. And the president of the United States has to come to our elect president to deal with us.
You know why that won't work?
Why?
There's too many us wanting to lead.
Well, you know, that is the ideology of what you're saying is called separatism. Separatism. If I'm not mistaken, Marcus Garvey, he, you know, that was his philosophy and his direction. Separatism, right? I mean, the shit could work. That's the idea of Black Wall Street.
That's right.
In Tulsa, Oklahoma. I think it could work.
It can't work. But
No,
go
I
ahead.
guess it would.
It can't work.
Now, what I'm saying, no, the thought of it. The thought
of it can work. The reality of it can. Go ahead.
the
Go back to the
actual
thought.
execution would
Yes.
require
Yes.
for
There you
a
go.
certain amount of leverage to be had against the United States as a whole in totality. And I don't think that's realistic, but just if we just pondering the thought, it could work. But the only thing is, we gonna argue for years and years about what region is ours. Cause me, I want Atlanta.
Right.
Atlanta is the Mecca.
Well, you got the South. It's north, south, east,
But
and west.
here's the problem, though.
But he has to run. If Tip gets the
Hey,
South,
look,
he
what if
has
they
to
tell
run
us we
against
gotta
the other
take the
4.
Southwest? We got Albuquerque, New Mexico, and goddamn Reno, Nevada, and you know what I'm saying? Then what we do? Y'all got that. We gonna move out of Atlanta and go to no.
Remember
it don't
this.
seem so appealing at that point.
Remember this. Everybody's skin to me ain't kin to me. And I
don't even know what you just said.
everybody that looks like me ain't kin to me.
That is true.
And
All black folk ain't real folk.
And I guarantee you, because I know you and I've seen some people, I guarantee you there's some people that you trust more that ain't skin to, both of you gentlemen, that you trust more, whether it be with your money or whatever else, than you do with people that are the same color.
Yeah, now you got my attention when you said the money part.
That's what I'm saying.
You got my
Because
attention.
you also got to cross-pollinate that money.
You know how to
Because that
affect
money,
me.
because see, I don't need no
See-
money from the
See,
ward
Tip,
over
he
there.
been knowing me since he was 17.
Yeah.
He know how to get my attention when he said that.
You got to cross-pollinate that money.
Yeah, okay.
That's how all this going
I
on.
was tuned out because you started
Hey.
using Tip type words, but then when you talked
When
about the money, you
Tip
got me
did,
back.
when he went to the Marvel character, when he went into that franchise, he went to another plateau. There was a whole new ecosystem that got introduced.
It didn't feel like that to me. It didn't feel like that. It felt like, you know, a supporting actor to, you know, a role within a universe, but it didn't never feel like I'm a part of the Marvel universe. Like I didn't get invited to no like private parties or no shit like that. You know, I came to work. I went to see it when it came out. I posted it. They had great numbers. I probably got nominal back end. But I don't think think about Marvel franchises, right? Marvel gets all the credit. They feel like they did all the work before they even hired the actor. They feel like the story was already there. You just fell into place. You know what I'm saying? So you don't really see many Marvel characters or like Marvel actors, like they don't really acknowledge them. They don't praise the actors. They praise the character.
The franchise.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Black Panther, not Chadwick Boseman, Black Panther. You know what I'm saying? And the same thing for Wolverine. You know what I'm saying? But I think that all in all, it's a blessing to contribute to culture. That's what we're doing. We're telling stories and we're making contributions to culture. So years from now, people will look back and see what this time of ours was like and what was important, what was entertaining, and and if they scroll down far enough, my name will pop up.
Hey man, I'm proud of the man you are, man. The father you are, the dude you are, and I'm talking about in real life and on the street, because you know, real folks do their checks on both places. Is he this? Is he this? Yeah, he is that. Yeah, all both checks marks, man. And I appreciate you because we don't brothers like you, man. And I say this, I seem like I say it every week. We don't give you your roses while you're alive, man. I'm not going to wait to applaud you when you're gone, and hopefully you're not gone for another 50, 60 years. But you are a real one, and you are a national treasure, man. I truly want you to know that from my mouth to your ears. You are truly
Thank you, brother.
treasure.
I think the same about you. I mean, like, you know, I think that you brought my city to a place where we became, in our own mind, just country niggas. You know what I'm saying? Right. I feel like in Atlanta, bro, and I know this because I travel to New York every summer to see my dad. So I got, you know, first-hand knowledge how people up north felt about South. I used to get into fights and shit in New York, man, just to kind of like, you know, they pick on me because of how I talk. I'm like, all right, come on, man, let's go and get this shit over with. Come on, we gonna get some understanding. If we can't agree by how I talk, we gonna agree that I can whoop your ass. And we gonna get some understanding somewhere. So I think that allowed me to see that, you know, I don't know where it came from, but somehow people from up north just felt like they were more advanced or further along. You know what I'm saying? Now, I have heard from people like Jay-Z and Fat Joe and people I respect and people I, you know, consider my mentors and who I admire. They said that shit has changed. Mm-hmm. I love to see it. I think that you were a sign of, but it couldn't change elsewhere before it changed within ourselves.
That's right.
And I think you were a sign of us seeing ourselves as something other than just a country nigga.
That's right. I appreciate that, my brother.
You and Jeezy, speaking of battling it out, you and Jeezy gonna go at it.
Right.
If you would kind of just give us a little sample of what we can expect between the two of you guys, two great titans from that city that you're talking about.
Sure. Man, listen, bro. Jeezy is, you know, a phenomenal talent and an icon in this town. You know, I think he represents a period of time and culture that can never be replaced. And, you know, it's an honor to call him my partner. I ain't really got no, like, I didn't really want to battle G. Like, that ain't really what I wanted.
Right.
And that's what the people called for. You dig? I wanted 50.
See, that's why I love this dude, man. See, Tip ain't gonna sugarcoat nothing. Like, I wanted 50. That's what it is.
Bro, I wanted 50. 50 didn't pull up. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, Buster said it. Well, actually, even before Buster said anything, Swiss had been calling me like, yo, I'm looking at the analytics. All the people want you and Jeezy. I'm like, yeah, bro, but I really don't want to. That don't feel like, you know, no real victory for me or the city. You know what I'm saying? I think that it's more valuable to the city for us to dominate together.
That's right.
You dig? Mm-hmm. That's how I feel. You know, he just kept saying, he's like, well, if 50 don't pick a date, what you gonna do? I said, well, shit, I called my man out. I ain't calling no more men out. I ain't calling nobody else out. If somebody called me out, so he got Jeezy. I mean, I ain't gonna say he got Jeezy. Then, you know, a couple days or a day later, I seen Jeezy put up a video, and, you know, and I said, all right, shit. That made me feel comfortable proceeding.
One of a kind, prime time is the GOAT.
There you go. Okay, we on.
You're the only one I do this for.
That's right. That's right.
It's one person in the world. No, it's two.
two people in the world I do this for. Prime and Dion. You both of them. Damn about nobody else. I wish I would stop playing golf for somebody else. You know how hard it is to play golf, man? I'm trying to get this little white ball in that hole down there. Woo!
Hey, I love the picture that you sent with your thumb. See, only country boys with a swag like us know what that picture meant. He sent the picture, that thumb was so beat up, I got jealous. I was mad. That thumb was just bruised and beat up. He been hitting bass left and right.
I could only send it to you because nobody would have understood.
Jamie, that thumb was beat up, Jamie.
So you're talking about the bass thumb?
Yes.
The bass. I'm an open face guy. I'm not skilled. I've been fishing all my life, and I just fish with open face. Never mastered the crab, so I have to admit that. But I'm an open face guy. I could never get the thumb to working right. I didn't have the time.
No, the thumb ain't for the cast. The thumb is for the bass after you catch them.
Oh,
that's the multitude.
No, you told me the thumb.
Yeah. You're using the bait caster.
Oh, the little teeth. I use a bait caster too. I got the thumb.
Yeah.
I'm from the country. I'm from Welch, West Virginia. I'm Illinois and Slick Harvey's baby boy, youngest of 5 out of Welch, West Virginia, holler number 9. They don't even make no more like me. I'm classic, baby.
What's funny, now you would think that our reputation precedes us. You know, we like to put on clothes. We like nice stuff. But deep down, man, we just want our peace and we want to fish. And we just want to be left alone. Really. That's what we share in common. When we love to have fun.
That's it. Man, if you take me off TV, if you just leave me alone, I ain't gonna shave. I ain't gonna dye my mustache. I ain't gonna do none of that. All I'm gonna do, man, is go somewhere to a lake. I got a couple spots that I go to, some ranches, and then and every now and then I go play me some golf. And the best thing that happened to me is COVID, because now I can wear a mask. Once I hide my mustache and mouth, don't nobody even know me.
That's the best thing ever. Hey, man, let me tell you something. Ain't it?
Man.
The Bible says God uses the foolish things to confound the wise. That mask, Lord, thank you.
It gave me so much joy and peace. I could walk right past a group of black people. Most black people. I went to vote the other day, right? And I had my mask on, and wasn't nobody in there but 5 people. And one black dude, I walked past the black dude, he said, "That's got to be you, man. I know how you walk." I said, "I be damned. I had a mask on." He got me. I had to turn around and give him some dap.
Let me ask you this, though. So let's talk about that, because the fame is a part of it. The fame, it didn't make who the man was, but to me, the fame was the defining of who the man was. And so for you, you know, it's like you're one of the few people, and people of color specifically, but few people in general now, that can't be defined by one thing, whether it's Family Feud and the success, you know. And talk about the strategy from the entrepreneur perspective of now you're buying the rights for Family Feud, taking it to Africa and other countries.
Well, you know, the key, and me and Prime talk about this a lot, is I've never been afraid to reinvent myself.
Yes.
See, what stops a lot of people from becoming truly successful is they get stuck on this one brand that they think they are. You know, like, for example, you're not going to play football your whole life. You need to understand that. So you need to start prepping the brand for life after football. I can't stand on that stage as a stand-up comedian and do that the rest of my life, especially the way the climate has changed. You know, it's a cancel culture now. So now, the only person that can stand on stage and say whatever he wants to say is Dave Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle.
Because he's not connected to a job, a sponsorship. Primetime can't say what he want to say. He a coach, he got kids, he a role model, he at Jackson State. I mean, what? So you can't be out here just flying off at the handle because you have a brand that you have to be. So I had to look at my stand-up career and go, okay, look, man, where are we going to from here? Now I can stand on this stage and make a really good living selling out arenas, or I can build a television empire. But I can't stand on stage and say what I want to say no more because all my shows are sponsor driven. So I had to make a conscious decision in the reinvention of the brand to let something go. And Bishop T.D. Jakes told me one time, he said, in order to get to the next level, you got to break through a glass ceiling. And if you break through glass, it's going to be bloodshed. And usually the blood you shed is going to have to be something you care deeply about. And nothing mattered more to me than stand-up. Nothing. It is the core base of who I am. But I had to let it go because I became an author, a game show host, Little Big Shots, a talk show. I got a national radio show. I'm an international motivational speaker. So I can't be standing on stage telling any of the jokes Dave Chappelle takes, which, oh, by the way, the greatest comedy special on TV right now, Dave Chappelle.
The 25th anniversary.
And so I had to reinvent myself, man. And just to answer your question, I'm always looking for the entrepreneurial side, business part of it. You know, look, man, ownership is the key for me at this point because appearance fees, you know, they're going to start to dwindle.
When you look at, you know, so I think you defined, because one of the questions I wanted to know was, because see, the show, and the thing about the show, you get to talk to people. Radio, and I know Dion's filled in 1,000 times for you over the years, you know, and to me, there's nothing like that. You know, on the stage, you got the stage, you're the king, but there still seems to be something special about your team and the radio, and your ability to have the time to pour into somebody, because you can't, little big shots, you know, you can get a little something in here, the message here, but that radio.
Yeah, the radio is a big part of my brand because it's 4 hours of pure Steve Harvey and the way I really think. I'll give you an example. People online, people who don't know me, are still online thinking I'm a Trump supporter because I went to see Donald Trump when he first got elected. What people don't know is I got a letter from the Obama transition team to response to a letter from the Trump transition team and asked me to go and sit so we can make a smooth transition. But what I went up there for was for Black people. I went up there to get these things I created called Vision Centers with Ben Carson, because Ben Carson didn't have an initiative. I gave him the Vision Center initiative. Then after Donald Trump got sworn in and we saw what he really was, I stepped away. They changed the Vision Center name to the Envision Centers. Yeah. Took the whole idea, then opened up 4 of them. That was Steve Harvey. Opened up 4 of them. Have asked me to come and take pictures in front of them, but I know now they're gonna use that as a campaign. So I had to step away from that. And so, you know, man, I had to learn over the years, had people been listening to my radio show, then they would know who the real Steve Harvey is. And they would understand the science and the story behind it.
Why would we question everything you've always done? You know, we've had this conversation. I call you and like, hey, man, you ain't got time for that bull junk. You ain't got to defend yourself with these fools, man. I ain't got time for this. You got to understand, you can ask my lady, and Tracy know. It's a few things you can't talk about. My mama is one of them, my kids is another one, and don't talk about Steve Harvey. I'm good with these things, and I may swing. Don't talk about Steve Harvey, and he knows that. But it bothers me when you've given your life to us as a people. You're on Monday through Friday with us as a people, encouraging, motivate, inspiring, and hiring us as a people. And then when you go to do business for us as a people, we're going to question you. How foolish is this when the Bible says the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the just? How is the just going to fellowship and get the funds from the wicked if we never get together?
Hey, man, Prime, listen to me, brother. Prime has come to my aid every time I've been under fire. And Prime told me something one time when I tried to help somebody. He said, hey, man, stop throwing a life raft to people swimming away from the boat. That was one of the great lessons of my life. 2 years ago, he said, hey, man, stop throwing life rafts to people swimming away from the boat. My whole career has been to uplift and move Black people in a better direction. That's all I'm about. I never walked away from BET. I did BET. They told me you should have been gone. I stay on black radio when they said, man, there's other opportunities on you on Sirius Radio. But if I go to Sirius Radio, then you got to buy a subscription. Radio is still free. And radio is where I can affect the most people of mine. And look, man, I was born black, made black, and cut black. I don't care what show you cut me on. At the end of the day, when you're watching it, you're going to have to say, that's black ass Steve. That's all you can say. black ass Steve, man. New Year's Eve, Miss Universe. I don't care what Little Big Shots, Family Feud. Yeah. That's black Steve right there. That's how I do. And people that's talking about me have never met me and don't know me. And I just only saying this because it's prime time, and I know I can.
That's true. Why you question Steve and Jim Brown at the same time? Like what? What? Jim Brown? Man, come on. That kind of stuff, it just drives me crazy. We shared a moment one time that I never forget. I don't know if we was on the radio or wherever we were, Steve. It was me, you, Kurt Franklin, somebody, and we were just talking. And I say, man, let's talk about the time when we almost quit. And Steve, dog, first of all, he has an innate ability to take you to a place. That's why he's a wonderful stand-up. He could take you to the place visually where you could see it. And he was talking about when he was doing stand-up, but he was still homeless and going on the road. And I believe it was the Ritz or whatever hotel it was. And Steve was talking about he used to go and wash up. It affects me to this day. I'm trying to tell it for him. But it was so powerful and impactful, Jamie. And he almost gave up on his dream. And now look where he is. And I rolled my
Prime had pointed out to me, he said, him and Kurt Franklin was talking. He said, everybody has a turn back moment. Mm-hmm. Everybody is going to get to this fork in the road where you can go right, left, or you can turn back. Now, right is hard and left is hard. But most people, they turn back.
That's right.
And that blocks all the blessings that God has for you. See, everything you want in life is on the other side of failure.
That's right.
You got to walk through all them failures. You got to keep tripping and driving. If I'd have quit, I would have never got here. But by God's grace, man, and his mercy on me, man, and just forgiving me for all my shortcomings. I mean, he just allowed me to have, I don't know what it was, man. I just said, man, I'm gonna just wake up one more day. I'm gonna just wake up and see tomorrow one more time. You ever heard people say, I'm not a morning person? I hear people say that all the time. I'm not a morning person. You know, that's the most ignorant thing you can say. Yes. Ain't waking up tomorrow the goal?
That is the goal.
If that's the goal, when he wake you up, why would you not be a morning person? What is we shooting for here? Hey, man, so I tell people all the time, the first thing I do when I hit the flow is I just say, thank you.
That's right.
Thank you, man, for just giving me another chance. I know yesterday was kind of rough. I got it was a little funky yesterday. I got it. They was talking about me. They raked me up pretty good. But I woke up today. And if you just keep waking up and stepping forward out on faith, man, and keep pushing, you never know where God gonna flip that switch in life, man. You don't know when he gonna cut that light on for you. But if you quit, if you turn back, you never find that moment. Never, ever.
You know, one of the things that, and I'll say it this way, because I say all the time, I'm saying I have is people are sheep, and they will be led anywhere with somebody for a headline. And so I'll say it by prefacing, I got the President Trump situation. What stunned me and hurt me most about you was the pageant. And I was just stunned to see how many people, because we all you've been in front of tens of, maybe even billions of people at this point. Mm-hmm. To have that slip, and then you clean all of that up, but to see the reaction, it was like, why are we so in a hurry to have one of our people? And that bothered me more than anything that the president and that whole situation did.
Hey man, let me tell you something. That whole thing right there, if people knew me, see, first of all, man, I've been on TV a long time. I didn't say no wrong name. Mm-hmm. I read the teleprompter.
Right.
That's right.
Right.
I got an IFB in my ear.
Right.
I did exactly what they told me to do. The announcement, I read the line. The new 2015 Miss Universe is, it's in the teleprompter. Then the guy in my ear said, read the next name. Next name on the card, Miss Columbia. Miss Columbia, great job, Steve. Go to the back for the finish. I go in the back, I'm done. Don't nobody. Then when they went in the back, 2 minutes later, they said, Steve, you read the wrong name. No, partner. I didn't read the damn thing wrong. I read the teleprompter, which said the new 2015, and the dude in my ear said, read the next name on the card. Next name on the card was Miss Columbia. They said there was another name on the bottom of the card. Say, man, you told me to read the next name, and why would I read the next name after the teleprompter said in the new? So I said, I'm gonna go out here and fix it. They said, no, we'll fix it tomorrow in the paper. I said, no. I'm gonna go get this woman her crown tonight. Right. And I walked back out there. I regretted that after I went out there, man. I regretted that because, boy, the firestorm that happened in my life, that following 2 weeks, that was probably the roughest 2 weeks because I had countries. Now, Colombia ate me alive. They had me really concerned. I wasn't even drinking Colombian coffee no more. I thought they was trying to kill me. But because of that, I had gotten so many threats, man. To this day, at my houses, I have 24-hour armed guard front and back. That's how bad it got at the Miss Universe pageant. But the pain that I felt wasn't just from them. It was from my own people.
That's
yes,
right. That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
That hurt me, man.
Yeah.
Look, I can deal with Colombia. I can deal with, Venezuela, whatever. But man, let me tell you something. My people, the ones that I needed to come for me, on TV talking about me, man, they was doing all kinds of, people that ain't even close to being a star on TV just making statements. I'm talking about dudes I knew. I said, okay, cool. But once again, behind every moment of adversity, there's a lesson and a blessing. So what happened was, after the dust cleared, I got a Super Bowl commercial on T-Mobile that paid me one night what I make in 5 years of hosting TV. And let me tell you something, man. 14 countries gave me, because I did the most honorable thing they've ever seen, 14 countries gave me, I have 14 villas around the world that I have 24-hour access to. I haven't paid for a vacation since. I go to Costa Rica, I go anywhere, man, absolutely free. Because, let me tell you real quick, I've been asking God to increase my global brand and persona.
Wow.
Well, after I said the wrong name, my name had been Googled in 48 hours. My name had been Googled 4 billion times worldwide. Wow. I was the most famous person in the world 48 hours later. Now, God increased my global brand and persona. I just ain't appreciate how he did it. That's
Hey, Jamie, I'm not gonna keep you long. This is truly to me, and we have a special bar. This is my hero, man. The things that this brother has endured, he has stood up to and blessed people, and I know the people he's blessed, and I know the bull junk he goes through because he goes through it as a father, as a husband, as a mentor, as a man, as an entrepreneur, as a host. He's gone through it publicly so we could see how he handles it. And it has blessed me tremendously because he don't duck nothing. He stands up and delivers, man. And
Hey, man, I love you for it, man. I really do.
Hey, man, I love you. Hey, can I ask you a question? Hey, Jamie, are you with Prime on the coaching staff?
No, I'm not on the coach. I'm on the media development and the media training staff. So yes.
Oh, okay. Hey, man, let me tell y'all something. What Jay State, that messed around and done, has hired one of the great minds of mentorship of young men.
Yes.
Let's not talk about football for a minute, because when you talk about football, you're talking about the greatest cover man ever laced up shoes. I mean, the clothes. Deion told me one time, he said, when they threw the ball on his side of the field, he thought they were throwing it to him. You know, that's something mentally wrong with you. You play defense. You off if you think that way. But what you have at Jackson State is one of the great minds for developing young men. I don't know a better person that an HBCU college could have went out and got. How they got him, I don't even know. I don't even know how the hell that happened. But what you don't get to see, you know, we saw Doug Williams get a shot, but you don't get, this dude got gold jacket, man. Gold jackets don't go to historical Black colleges. Gold jackets try to skip over that. What Jackson State and messed around and did is the ball. And I'm telling you, a lot of people gonna show up on that campus that would never, ever have set foot. This man's draw power is incredible. He can pick up the phone and get anybody to come through. And I'm happy for Jackson, man. The big sonic boom, they already got funky ass band. But now y'all got a head coach gonna be up in there walking there. See, Deion don't cuss, I cuss. So let me get off here for you see the other side of me. You know, I'm saved, but I'm what you call
you got Peter spirit. I got a Peter spirit. So I know how you do that.
Yeah, see, I'm an entry-level Christian. I don't do advanced Christianity. You know, if you slap me, you've slapped the wrong Christian. If you cuss at me, gather yourself. You're finna get cussed out. And then I'll work it out with the Lord. But Prime, you my man. I love you, man.
Thank you, man.
I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy for Jackson State, man. And thank you, brother, man, for having me on, man, with y'all today. I really appreciate that.
Hey, when I get to Atlanta, I got to come to the crib. Now, you know, I know. I got to see it. I got to see it. All right? I got to see it.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Yes, Jesus. You better love him. You better love him before he mess around and take you somewhere you didn't know you was going.
All right, my brother. Love you, man.
I appreciate y'all. Thank you,
man. Thank you, sir.
All right, Don.
All right, bro.
Yeah. That's going to do it for this edition of 21st and Prime. We appreciate you joining us. As always, subscribe to us at 21st and Prime. Also on YouTube, subscribe to us as well. We've got some great merchandise as well for the holidays. We appreciate you joining us, and we'll catch you next time.
Yo, nephew, hand me that Barstool. You know what it is, and for what it's worth, you can catch me on the best